And welcome to the Confound Millennial, starring Stephen Stirvin Michaels, Chan the Man Miller, and Khenidi Pippin of Youngdriver.
It's true, it's true, it's true. I'm the fool for loving you, loving you. Whoa, everyone's talking about. Whoa, how you been running around? Whoa, well, you better leave. I always thought it would be you and me. I'm gonna leave you.
Hey Kennedy, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, just trying to stay indoors, stay 6 feet away from each other, you know.
Oh, yeah, same here. Same here.
Just living out the most boring apocalypse we could.
Right. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
So we're based out of Georgia. Where are you based out of?
Same, Georgia. Well, the North Georgia area, Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're right on the state line, so we're not too far.
Okay. We're actually not really far from you then.
Nice.
And,
Are you guys
we got
in
some-
Atlanta or?
No, we're in North Georgia as well.
Oh, okay.
All right, sorry, we had to have a little one-on-one. I was just curious. Turns out they're right down the road. But so this is the Confound Millennial blasting at you from North Georgia both ways. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Kennedy.
Yeah, so I am 22 and I had just started being in a band about a couple of years ago. I was actually in a whole other different band. So it's kind of crazy, you know, like I started out in this band actually called We Were the Mask back in 2017 with other members involved. And it was just this little idea that was brought on after we had graduated school and we were all in college, kind of bored. So there were other members involved and it was just this idea. And so the first band I was in, they were already a band, but they were looking for a singer. And I knew the guitarist from going to school with him. So one day he just randomly called me up and he was like, "Hey, want to audition to sing in our band?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, you know, I've always wanted to be in a band. Why not?" So I auditioned and honestly, I sucked so bad. Like I was so shy, hadn't really had experience singing solos. Because, you know, I was usually like the backup singer or I would sing with people. So this was just definitely out of my comfort zone. But I just went for it anyway. And surprisingly, they said right then that, "Oh, yeah, I guess you're good enough to be there." So I was like, okay, cool, which really took me by surprise. So I joined and then we knew a male singer like right down the road, added him to the band. So we actually like did duets and it was pretty neat. But then along the way, you know, life happened and there were, of course, disagreements and things of that nature where, you know, some members left, including the other singer, and some members stayed. So then that provided, you know, an opportunity for like our drummer at the time to bring in these guitarists to audition. And, you know, I'm not sure if they know this, but at first we were just going to choose one of them, you know, to play with us. But then we saw potential in both and realized, you know, there are different qualities, you know, that both bring to the table, you know, that we think are pretty essential to the band. So we said yes to both. And then I believe like towards the end of 2018, we decided to completely like rebrand and go a different route. And then we changed the band name to Youngdriver, actually on New Year's Day of 2019. And so that's pretty much my life. So that's just it.
Where does the name Youngdriver come from?
That's funny that you ask that. It's honestly, you know, been an inside joke for us. And then one day someone said it and I was like, "Hey, you know, that would be a cool band name, I think." And then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Youngdriver. Like that runs together pretty cool." But I should also disclose that I may not have been the one to say that it would be a cool band name. So I could be wrong about that part, but that's honestly how I remember it. And I have to just say that it's an inside joke because I swear to you, nobody will think it's funny or understand it. And it's honestly just hilarious. Just keeping it in a mystery and see what people come up with. So I honestly think it's best to keep it at that.
Okay, we totally get that. Like our name, the Confound Millennial, I hadn't said this in a while, so I will now. We actually got that name because that's what my old boss used to call me. He wouldn't cuss, but he would say confound for everything. So he would yell at me, "You confound millennial."
Oh my God. That's that's awesome.
And I never thought I was very good at being a millennial. I'm not good at technology. I know enough to do a podcast. And as you can tell, we barely know enough to do that from us trying to set up the call.
He definitely didn't know anything before I came along.
Hey, that's how. Hey, you know what though? That's like how you start off anything great. Is there's a lot of work that goes into it, so it's completely understandable.
So you gave us a little bit of the backstory of the creation of Youngdriver. Oh, you already said 2019 is when you guys really started as Youngdriver.
Yes, we're pretty new. We're pretty new at this stuff. And especially, the current members now. I mean, they had just joined and then we ended up changing the name to Youngdriver. So, I mean, they've been in the band for about a year, and then I've been in like the scene for about 2.5 years, I would say.
And I just saw you a few months ago at a Capstan concert opening up for them.
Yes.
Who's your favorite band that you've opened up for so far?
Oh man, that's a really hard question because there have been so many awesome bands that we've had the opportunity to open for, but if I had to choose, I would probably say like Capstan, Awake at Last. I love those guys. We Were Sharks, Boys of Fall, A Story Told, The Second After. There's just too many. But those are probably like my favorite ones that we've opened for or played with.
Have you guys gotten the opportunity to go on any tours with anybody yet?
No, we actually have not been on a tour yet. And I will say this though, we were planning out a tour last year, and we were wanting to, start going and traveling like in November. And we had planned that at the beginning of the whole rebranding situation with the band. But it just didn't work out like we wanted it to. Life got in the way, but we're also, we're still keeping that in mind for sure. We definitely want to tour. Like it's driving us crazy, like how badly we want to tour. So
yeah, I know a lot of bands are in that position right now too, because there's just no tours happening right now. No events can go on.
Oh yeah,
which is good for us because everybody's down to do a podcast.
Right. Oh heck yeah.
So, how many songs are? I know you have one full edited released song, but how many do y'all got in the bag?
Oh man, dude, you guys, we have so many songs that have not been released or even recorded yet. Like there's just so many ideas that we've just come up with, and it's honestly like really hard to try to choose, especially during this whole recording process. We're really trying to work out what songs to put on our first like EP and what songs to save until like the next record, or if we should release just those as singles. So that's something that we've definitely been discussing because like we've done some demos and stuff of that nature with the songs, but it's still definitely a work in progress. But I would have to say if there's like a specific number, I would probably, oh gosh, definitely in the double digits for sure. But on the EP, I really, I think we're only gonna have like 5, if I'm not mistaken, on the EP. So, like I said, decisions.
Well, I mean, if it was any more than 5, it wouldn't really be an EP anymore, would it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we might as well have a full length now that I think about it, but it's just been it's been crazy, because there's so many people that are, debating on the idea of having just an EP as your first release or a single or a full length. Because you hear the argument every now and then, like, oh well, who listens to albums anymore? But in my opinion, like if you really enjoy somebody, like if you really enjoy a band and you really like everything that that's coming out of their records and stuff of that nature, like you're gonna listen to the whole album. I mean, that's just me though, but it is
Right. I
what it
mean, you're
is.
absolutely right, though.
Yeah.
But that's me coming from a CD collector point of view.
Ah.
There's not
Oh
many of
yeah,
those
man, I love
anymore.
CDs.
I don't trust technology, so I want to own my music and know it's not going to be deleted.
Ah.
But whenever you
I
guys
used
come
to
out
be
with
like that, but
something,
now I got my Spotify.
yeah, Spotify's good. I just I don't feel, I don't like paying for things that I don't technically
Ah.
own. So, you said that you were working on an EP. Like, do you have a time frame on that?
Definitely, it will definitely be 2020. For sure. The thing is, we've had a delay on it because of this whole, pandemic going on, but we originally planned to release it like at least hopefully by summertime. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that or not, but I'm going to. There's something to look forward to, you guys.
Nice. There's something to look forward to at the end of this whole pandemic.
Right. Yeah. Before the world ends, you'll at least be able to listen to more than one song by us.
Gonna throw an oddball question out here. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple, like light purple.
That is a rare color that people tend to not pick. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that color.
Now, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
What's your least favorite color?
Yikes. My least favorite
That
color?
throws people off.
Probably orange, honestly. But I think that's just because I'm a Georgia fan.
I can see that.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
So, we're kind of nerds, so we got to ask this. Because we want to know both about the band and about you. We're hoping one day you guys get famous and somebody, goes to make a wiki page and they listen to this to create it. So, are you into video games?
That's a good question, actually. Like I'm not like, I wouldn't consider myself a gamer per se, but I have definitely like enjoyed playing video games, but I'm not like, I don't have any like at my home, if that makes sense. Like I used to when I was at like my parents' house or whatever. Like we would have an Xbox there and I would play like random games, or like my friends would come over and we would just play like freaking like what's that game called? I can't even think what it's called, but it's like a fighting game. It's really fun. I can't think of what it's called at the moment, but we would play that, or we play Halo and just like Mario games, and just, I don't have like a ton of like knowledge. Like if you were to ask me like, oh, like who's your favorite character on this video game? Like there's no way I would be able to tell you. But no, I'm not like a huge gamer, but I'm definitely like not against games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally get you. I'm kind of the same way. I've always considered myself a fan of video games, but never owned a console until last year, so I get it.
Nice.
But now is a very bad time to not own a console.
Right. For sure. And I have like this Harry Potter game because I love Harry Potter. So I like play it on my phone when I get the time. But I do live a really busy lifestyle. So then again, like I really don't have that much time to play anything, but I have that Harry Potter game and it makes me happy.
It's not the Pokemon Go type one, is it?
No. No, but I
Okay.
used to play that. Oh my gosh.
I was just
Good
wondering what they're
times.
doing with the Harry Potter one because I know the Pokemon Go is telling everybody to stay inside, not play our game anymore. So, what inspired you to get into a band? Was it just the friend asking, or had you always kind of wanted to do it? Or
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I have always like fantasized about being in a band and like going on tour and like making music. Like music has always been something in my life that has just like been such a huge like passion of mine. Like it's insane. And I knew from like a really young age too. Like I remember going to my grandma's house and she has a really old like red like wooden piano. It's really old. I'm pretty sure it's like over 100 years old, but I would play it anyway and it was so out of tune, but I just like enjoyed that so much. And then I started, like singing at like the talent shows in school. And but the thing is, like when I would like be in like me and my mom, we would be, listening to the radio, like just driving around and stuff. And like she kind of introduced me to like my biggest inspirations. And so when I would like listen to, like Paramore, Flyleaf, and Blink 182, or like Red Hot Chili Peppers, or just anything like that. Like we just noticed, like I think my family also just noticed that like I just had like this sense of like I don't know, like musicality in me, like if that makes sense. Like I just really like every song I listened to ever since I was little, I would pick out every single part of the song and I would just kind of like really just like think about it. It's the craziest thing. I mean, when you're passionate about something, like you're definitely willing to, act on that, you know, like nothing's holding
yeah,
you back. And I sang like since I was little, but I had always been pretty shy about it. So I would always be like a backup singer or like in a chorus or something like of that nature or in like a musical or something like that. Or just singing with my friends. So doing this was definitely like stepping out of my comfort zone and also just being like, hey, like this is like what you want to do. And it's just, and once I did it, like once I played my very first gig ever, in a rock band, like it just really like it's like it came naturally. And I just wasn't shy. I wasn't nervous and I had a lot of fun because that's like one of the things when I perform is like I just want to have fun and I want other people to have fun too. So it's just something that's always been a part of my life and I've just been blessed with, being around like really talented people who like have helped me along the way. It's crazy. I love music. I love all music too.
and you can tell you're having fun on stage. Like, what really set you apart from all the bands that I saw that night was the stage presence.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
I appreciate that.
obviously, like it was a Capstan show, so obviously Capstan had a great stage presence, but you were loving
Right.
it.
Hmm.
Like you
Oh
were
man,
getting
I
down in the
love being on
crowd, running
stage.
around.
Yeah, I love it. I love being on stage. There's nowhere I would rather be than be on stage. And it's just really crazy and it's hard to describe the feeling, but it's just I just love it. That's my favorite part about being in music is performing and like showing people like the creation, the art, it's a lot of fun. I try to be as entertaining as possible.
Right, and you do a very good job at it.
Thank you
Like,
so much.
like we used to be in a little church band back in the day, and we thought we were rock stars, and we totally
Mhm.
get like how it feels to be on stage.
Yeah, it's
And
definitely the greatest feeling ever.
I'm an actor. I don't really get to work on it much, but like the stage is where I belong, so I completely feel that.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And I also like did sports and theater growing up as well. So I've just always kind of like I've always liked being in the spotlight. Like, I mean, I guess not really like liked being in the spotlight, but just kind of like it's just kind of like grown on me, I guess. It just everything just comes naturally. So I guess I'm just kind of used to it, is what I mean to say. So, but I'm definitely thankful for those opportunities too.
So if you weren't singing, what would be like, what's your, not really a backup plan, but like if I wasn't podcasting, I would love to be working on an acting career. What would you love to be doing that you may or may not ever do?
That is a really hard question because there's so many things that I would love to do. Like, I have so many different little dreams that like I would fantasize about, just something like, like you said with your acting career, like I would love to do something with acting as well, and I always think about, like, I used to work at a boutique and I loved it and had so much fun working there. So like I would love to like have like my own like clothing line or something like that, because I always come up with ideas of like what I could, like create and actually like bring to life and how awesome it would be. Stuff like that. Definitely, probably, I know before joining the band, I wanted to play like professional volleyball, LOL. And so I would love to like do something with sports, man, there's just so many things. I mean, right now, like I have, a normal job. And it's great. So I mean,
Don't have to lie to us.
I at least have something. You sensed the sarcasm out of that, didn't you? But yeah, there's so many things.
This is another song quite like What Your Favorite Color. What song has been stuck in your head lately?
Ooh.
We've all got that one annoying little song that sings in the back of our head.
It's probably like the most random song ever, but I'm trying to think of what it's called. I have just been jamming out to Slaves, the song by Slaves. It's called True Colors. Yeah. I've been jamming out to this song called True Colors by Slaves. It just randomly like popped up on my Spotify playlist one day, and I just like kept it on repeat. And I love that song. I could listen to that song all day long. And I love Slaves too. They're one of my favorite bands. So I know that's like super random, but.
Well, it's a super random question.
Right.
Like for me, it's been, dang it, what is the name of that song? Inspire the Liars by Dance Gavin Dance.
Dude, I love Dance Gavin Dance.
That's one of the things I'm kind of mad at about this coronavirus thing is I was about to go see them and then they canceled.
I know, me too. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you only have the one song out, but what's your favorite song that you guys have done? Whether it's that one or one that we need to look forward to. But what's your favorite Youngdriver song?
Ooh, that's a great question. My favorite Youngdriver song at the moment is a song called Truth of Lies. And I had wrote it a long time ago. And it actually started out being like not as pop punkish sounding. It started out just kind of being like alternative, like not as like happy sounding, I guess is what I mean. And then eventually, like, we just out of nowhere like reworked it, and just kind of like brought it back up, and then it just ended up being like this really like jamming song. And we played it at that show, at the Capstan show, actually. I'm not sure if you remember it or not, but it was yeah, it was like the second song we played. But anyway, that's definitely my favorite song. And then besides that, it would be IOY for sure. Those two songs are just really fun to play because they kind of have a mixture of like pop punk, but they also have a mixture of like getting like intense and like a little heavy-ish, but not like super heavy, because we all have all three of us in the band, like we have different music tastes, and when we write stuff, like we just kind of like to like create something that can involve like all of our music tastes into one song. So it's just fun for all of us to play. So yeah, definitely Truth of Lies and IOY are my favorites.
And are you the main lyricist, or do you all work on it together, or?
That's also another good question. So lyric wise, it's pretty much Luke, our guitarist, and I. Um, but mostly Luke. And we kind of just bounce ideas off of one another, and it's nice being in a band where Luke, the guitarist, and then Donovan, the other guitarist, and I have these musical capabilities to be able to create something together, like with our different personalities and tastes meshed together in these songs. It's just really neat to be able to see what we come up with, and sometimes Luke will write a whole song with lyrics, and then another day, like Donovan will do the same thing. And then I'll have these songs like kept in a journal or on my notes in my phone. And then we'll send recordings of them to each other, to our little group chat that we have. And then we like listen to each other's ideas and talk about them. Or, we'll meet up at rehearsal that week and then we just start jamming out. And then Donovan will write like a solo on his guitar and Luke will come up with some riffs and then we'll just come up with something and record it. And, even with me just mumbling words to a melody that we're just like a completely random melody that we're just jamming out to, just mumbling words until I come up with like actual words that rhyme and make sense. It's just, that's pretty much how we do it. And, when we first started out, I feel like we just kind of threw some quick songs together so we could have some and perform them. But now, and especially lately, we have just been brainstorming ideas and trying to make our songs more meaningful and relatable, because we just realize now like that's so important. And even for a song that's just meant to be fun, and I'm at this point right now where if I write something and it doesn't give me goosebumps, then I need to like fix it or come up with something else, because there's just some things I've wrote that when I started singing something or I wrote something like really cool, like I just started to like get goosebumps. So ever since that happened, like that's always what I'm going to strive for now, because I feel like that's when you just know it's special. And I feel like all three of us have been through so much just in the past few years. And I'm hoping that like going forward, everybody, including you guys, like will be able to see those experiences of ours, like in our lyrics, and be able to connect with the audience even more. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the whole lyrics situation.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you guys evolve as a band, and really looking forward to having some more music to listen to from you guys.
Oh,
So
me too.
hearing
believe me.
that, like, we love hearing from bands that, they're, how would I word it? We kind of like hearing when people are a little bit unhappy with their stuff, because we know that means they're about to make something really great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So one more question about, I asked earlier who your favorite band to play with was or whatever, and you had a lot of answers. Do you have any band that's like your top number one that you would love to play with?
Ooh, my top number one, man, that is
You can
that's
you
a
can give us
hard
three. You can
question.
give us three.
I'll name a few. How about that?
That works with
There's
me.
just so many awesome bands. Okay, cool. I would probably say like Neck Deep or Panic at the Disco. Like that's right there. That's just aiming like really high, but that would be a dream come true. Let me just tell you. And then,
Gotta set your
Paramore,
goals.
of course, if they were ever on tour again. And then Paris would be really fun. And Diamante would be dope too, because I think we're the same age, me and Diamante, and we actually met at the Masquerade in Atlanta. And I told her I was also in a band, and she's just an angel, so I feel like that would be a really cool experience to tour with her as well.
Yeah, she just listed all of my ex's favorite bands.
No way. Sorry.
No, you're fine. She listens to good music, so I can't judge that.
Nice. Yeah, I listen to everything. Like Dance Gavin Dance. Like I love those guys. Ever since you said them, now I'm like, now I got that song in my head. the We Own the Night song by them.
As soon as you said that, that little voice in my head is just, we own the night.
The night. It's a jam.
It absolutely is. Like, that's been, when I listen to music, I usually get into a routine of listening to the same thing for like a month. And you can ask my co-hosts, like, it's been annoying. I've been listening to Dance Gavin Dance nonstop for a month.
It's okay, me too.
So, like, once all this pandemic stuff is over, how quick are you guys hoping to get back to playing? Do you have anything like kind of lined up that's in the air? Or?
Yeah, we were this Saturday, to be exact, we were supposed to have a show at Furnace 41, and it was going to be their ladies' night show. And we actually played for their ladies' night show last year, and it was a blast. So we were going to do that again. But because of this whole craziness going on, I think it's been postponed. Or actually, I know it's been postponed. And I think we're shooting for May to have it on May. Let me look at my calendar. May 4th, or not May 4th, sorry, May 2nd.
May the 4th be with you.
So, yeah. Well, yeah, if only. That would be pretty dope. But then again, I think the 4th's on a Monday. Yeah. So yeah, we're shooting for May 2nd, and I hope like everything will be over by then. And if not, I think we're just gonna like keep postponing it, because it's a really fun show to play. And because it's all of like female fronted bands like in the Atlanta and surrounding areas. So like it's a really, it's definitely worth the money for sure. And just like seeing like the females kind of rock it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the real interesting thing is, I don't, I listen to Spotify and it doesn't really suggest a lot of female-led pop punk bands for me. I know they're out there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because there's just, I feel like, and it's crazy now that I think about it, and now that you said that, I don't think I've ever played on a bill other than Ladies' Night, like just for a regular show. I don't think I've ever been on a bill with like another like female front ever, except for Ladies' Night. So that's like once a year. And we've played a ton of shows already. So that just goes to show like there's not that many. I feel like, there are, but especially locally, like in Georgia, like, but it's rising, like there are some new and upcoming female fronted bands. And so that's exciting. But yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah. It's like, you were the second lead, vocalist for a band that we've had on here, and we had to outsource to Canada to get the first one.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a band called Red Handed Denial?
I'm afraid I haven't. Nope, but I can sure check them out.
Check them out. They're a metal band from Canada, and we actually played their episode last week, and yours is following that up.
That's
but
awesome.
Definitely,
I feel honored.
to the fans listening right now, check out that episode. Keep listening to this one if you are, check out Youngdriver for sure. Their single ILY is on YouTube, Spotify. Do you have, Kennedy, do you have any merch or anything like that? I know this is a rough time for bands, and we're trying to throw out any way we can try to support bands right now.
Oh man, yeah. We ran out of t-shirts, and I was looking to order some more for us before this ladies' night show, but then when this whole craziness happened, that definitely got put on hold. So we don't actually have any t-shirts at the moment. But we're definitely going to order some or we're definitely going to have some delivered and like distributed as soon as possible. just whenever we get the chance. It has been rough, like you said, and especially for bands. And at this like time, like I wish we would have like our website like finished and like set up. But we have these little. It's really random, but our guitarist,
Yeah, I was about to
he
ask you
ordered,
about
like,
that
a
next.
ton. Yeah, he ordered a ton of like these little like golf tees, and they have our name on them, and they're like multicolored. Like, they actually look pretty cool, but like I don't play golf, but he like just ordered a bunch of them. So like we have that. We have
We
those.
actually we have one of them sitting in the podcast room. Actually,
Oh wow.
a
That's
buddy of
awesome.
mine got confused about the prices and bought like 20.
Mhm. They're super cheap, but they're freaking cool.
Does anyone golf, or was it just like a pure random impulse thing that he did?
Honestly, it's really funny you asked that because, he was like, "Oh, get it, driver." But the thing is, like, I don't know golf terms because I've never golfed before. So I guess like that makes sense if you're a golfer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
I get it.
you get it now? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
A driver is the club you use pretty much at the start of golfing, like at the start of a course or whatever you want to call it. Start of a hole. There's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
The start of a hole. You use your driver to drive the ball as far as you can first, typically.
Chandler, I
Okay,
knew
yeah,
you
no,
were a
that makes
nerd. I
sense.
didn't know you were a dweeb.
Well, you see, when you go to a private school for half of your school year and they try to find stuff to do in PE that's not the same thing, eventually you find your way to golf.
See, we started
I suck
dodgeball,
at
we
golf.
ended at golf.
Oh, trust me, I'm not good at it either. I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. I think it's boring, but
Yeah, sorry golfers out there. I'm not a golfer.
So, what's the story behind the song ILY? If
Okay,
there
that's
is
a really
one.
good question too. So ILY, it stands for, instead of I love you, it stands for I'm leaving you. And I was like, when after he actually wrote this song like after. It's crazy. The timing was just insane because he actually showed us this song. I'm pretty sure right after I had like went through a tough breakup. And so I was like, Luke, like this is perfect. Like this is just really perfect. So then, I actually it's so people think like I wrote that song about like that situation, which I mean, it definitely can relate to that situation. But really Luke wrote it, and I really honestly like we don't really know like how like he actually came up with the lyrics. Um but he just like writes these awesome songs, and we're like, wow, like this is definitely relatable. And it's always at the right time too. Like, so we definitely appreciate that from Luke for sure. But yeah, I definitely, it's kind of a mystery, you know?
Not too shabby.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, it's pretty much a breakup song.
Yeah, I got that from listening to it.
Heck yeah, thank you for
It
listening
made
to
him
it.
tear up. No, it didn't really make him tear up. Chandler's a stoic man. I've never seen him cry. But do you have anything else that you'd like to throw in before we reach our last question?
Sure. I just want to say, like, first and foremost, like, thank you guys for having me. And, I love talking to people and being able to, like, do interviews like this and talk about us and the band, especially because lately we've been kind of quiet and it seems like, nothing's probably going on, but, that is wrong. Because like we're working as much as we can on everything. And it's also funny because I'll talk to some people that's been in the industry for like 10 plus years, and, I'll tell them what we want to do and just based off of that. And they're like, how long have you been a band again? And I'm like, about a year. They're like, dude, you have plenty of time, like, to get all this situated, to get all this out. And, while that may or may not be true, we just try to do as much as possible because we really, want to get to that point where we can tour and, like, that become a regularly consistent thing for us. And even though we haven't toured yet and have really only performed like in Georgia and Tennessee, like, for those who listen to this, our shows consistently and support us all the time, like, we appreciate it more than we can say. And to others who haven't seen us play live or even not in the area, like, continue to support local music and follow us on our social networks. And that single IOI is actually on all music platforms, so you should be able to access that anywhere. But I think that's just the main thing, and I just think this is awesome what you guys are doing. So I appreciate it, you guys.
Thank you. Many thanks for coming on the show. What are your social media tags that we can follow you on?
Yeah, it's basically just at Young Driver Georgia, like GA, not the full word Georgia, but just GA. It's at Young Driver GA, and it's like that on Instagram. I think it's the same for all of our networks. So if you just look up, especially on YouTube, if you just look up Young Driver GA, then we should be like the first channel to pop up. And then with Spotify, it's just like Young Driver. And people, for some reason, people say that it's easier to find us if you type in Young Driver with all caps, then we'll just show up easily that way. But I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just Young Driver GA, and you should find us. And there will be like a picture of me and the two guitarists in the profile picture on whatever network you're on.
And one more question about the band that I forgot to ask. Is it Young Driver with a space, or is it Young Driver?
It's Young Driver without a space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I kept trying to Google you guys, and I'm like, what do I Google? I'm sure it's going to come up the same way, but
Yeah, it's just Young Driver.
okay. And we've reached our final question, which may seem the most random, may seem the most unnecessary. But I was asked this question by a youth pastor in my youth, and I have decided to ask as many guests as I can this very important question.
Okay, shoot.
Picture this. You're in a pool, and it's filled up to your shoulders in snot. And someone comes up with a bucket of pee and throws it at your head. Do you duck?
Hold up. You
No.
totally just asked that backwards.
I know, I'm trying to make it a little better.
Okay.
I love it. I love these random questions.
But so you wouldn't duck. You would take the pee.
Honestly, I mean, because your whole body is already in a pool of snot. So I would much rather have pee than snot, as crazy as that sounds. That's just me, though, because pee is just pee.
I mean, I guess,
like, snot's filled with,
now that I think about it, it's an easier option for me because I'm bald, but she's got hair. There's a cleanup process, Chandler.
True.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
thank you, Kennedy. It's been fun. This has been a great episode, and this has been The Confound Millennial, starring Steven Stirvin Michaels, Chan the Man Miller, and featuring special guest Khenidi Pippin of Youngdriver.